This is Down to a T, your break from the self-motivation. Here, you don't have to be better, you just have to be you. And that's what our guests will be bringing to every single episode. From artists to comedians to voices in media and everything in between, we'll be having off-the-cuff, lively conversations about anything that we want. Hi. We are back, and I'm going to be sharing what's on my mind as I do every week. And this week, I'm actually going to be talking about something that seems to be boiling up everywhere, and that is celebrities and celebrity culture. And to me, it seems like everyone's a little fed up with celebrities. Is it just me, or does it seem that way? Please let me know in the comments if you are one of those people that are fed up with them. But from J.Lo to Justin Timberlake, Taylor Swift, not the Swifties, but there's some people that are coming at her for God knows what reason every other week. And I'm just like, I feel like there's a point in culture happening right now where it's just like, is this a new reflection point on what celebrities mean to me personally? I've never had a parasocial relationship with celebrities. I've always known to like where I stand and just watching celebrity culture and like reading up on it. And it's also a part of my job. But knowing that ain't got nothing to do with me. They're not paying my bills. And but it's just crazy to see the commentary now that exists online. And I'm just curious to know, those who are watching, listening, what is your take on what's been happening with celebrities? Are we unjustly judging them and coming at them and commenting on them? Or is everything valid that's coming out in terms of speaking out? Some of the things that they've been doing, acting reckless, to me deserves some talk. But the ways that we be coming at some of the celebrities, which my guest Nancy today, Rodriguez, she speaks to that. And one particular celebrity, which you'll have to continue to listen to see who, but we talk about how maybe that's a little unfair to the degrees in which that went. But yeah, I'm very curious to know, what is your take on what's happening with celebrities? It just seems like this is all we're talking about in terms of just what we're taking from them and what we're not taking anymore. And it seems like we're not taking shit anymore in culture. So let me know. Write it down in the comments. But yeah, I'm really excited for you to hear more from my guest today. We are talking everything from their incredible background to karaoke. That seems to be down to a T favorite topic. And Selena Quintanilla. But so much more. So stay tuned. You're going to have fun with this one. And thank you again for tuning in. Down to a T. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Down to a T. Here I have with me Nancy Rodriguez, and I'm so excited to have her. And I actually have my phone in hand because I want to make sure that we're getting everything from her bio listed and right. So Nancy Rodriguez, she's a multi-talented and dynamic force in the world of real estate. She has a background in speech-language pathology, a degree. Let's get real. And she also has a background in reality television. And you might know her from Netflix's Love is Blind that had millions of viewers, but she's so much more than that. And Nancy, I'm so excited to have you here today. And I would be amiss, I have to share, she has 1.9 million. I'm actually going to keep it real. Yes, we were talking earlier and then I mistakenly said 9.1, but that's because we're manifesting that for her. A $1.9 million real estate portfolio. That is incredible. Thank you, Nancy, for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
No,
this is
course.
So fun. I'm really glad that we get to do this and just catch up on life things. You know what I mean?
I know. I feel like I've known you forever.
I know. This is such a good vibe.
Yeah. Latina to Latina, I'm like, love rooting you on, but also love having you here on the pod, and we get to chat a little bit. And again, today's super conversational, and I'm really excited to just get to know Nancy Rodriguez behind everything I just mentioned. Who is the real Nancy Rodriguez? And so we start every podcast with the starting five. Yeah. Are you ready? It's going to be 5 quick questions where everyone can get to know you, whether they're watching or listening. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
So what is your social media pet peeve?
So 2 come to mind.
Yeah.
I think the first one is, and this was like before I was on the show, before I really had a platform, is when creators don't tag the outfits that they wear, because there's like the cutest outfits, and you're just like, are you gatekeeping? Like, why didn't you tag the brand? You know, and then I usually go to the comments and be like, okay, did anyone else like ask? And people are asking and like no response. It's giving like they don't want to share, and I don't know, sharing is caring to me. So I think that's a pet peeve from even before I was on the show. And I would say the second pet peeve, oh my gosh, so this actually happened to me where I saw this TikTok dance. And during COVID, that's when I really got into, like, I couldn't go out, I couldn't go dancing because everything was shut down. And I was working in the hospital, so I was in close contact with COVID patients post-COVID. And so I really had to be like away from family, away from friends. I was isolated. And I found that dancing in my kitchen, in my living room, learning dances, creating dances was so fun. So this one time I learned a dance and I was like, this is so cute. And it was the Selena Gomez song, that Calm Down. And then I did it like on a trolley. And it was just like, I had the best time, right? Because at this point I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. When I learned the video was not credited. So I credited the person that I saw, but then the actual like someone tagged the creator who came up with the actual dance. And I just felt like I just felt so bad because I'm like, I didn't know. So then I made, and it was actually on TikTok where you can't edit your post, which I think is like so annoying. And so I felt really bad. And so I just rewrote on the comments and I was like, thank you. And then I tagged the original creator. But it's kind of like oh shit, like am I allowed
you can
to
curse.
Okay.
I love that moment when guests are like, wait, yes, you can curse.
Okay.
This is open
Okay, I love
space.
that. I love that. And so then I was like, oh shit, like this is bad, but I didn't know. And so learning lesson, if I do see a dance, I usually try to go, especially on TikTok, I go and try to find the original creator to make sure that they're credited. So
but
I don't
that.
like uncredited work.
I love that. You're like, you need the credit, but also like the fact that you're like, I want to know the links. Like, no gatekeeping here, guys.
Right?
Yeah, I love that. So what is a family tradition that you love?
I actually just learned this the other day. My boyfriend and I have been just like having a lot of friends and family come visit over the last few months. And I love that for me. Like, I love hosting. It makes me get out of the house and do things in New York. And New York is so big that regardless of how many plans I make for us to do, like me and my partner, there's just not enough time. And I'm not going to do the super touristy thing. So it's nice to have friends and family come visit. And I would say out of like my top 10 people, at least 7 have come to visit. So every month or so I'm having to host like a family of friends. And so he says to me, he was like, you really seem to be very like excited to host, but like, can we take a break for the next couple of months? And I was like, wait, like, do you not like hosting? Is that not like a thing? Like, I thought, so I realized that that's something that my family has always done. Like, so my parents are immigrants from Mexico. And I just remember when we had our house and we had cousins that were coming either undocumented to the United States, like we would house them. And sure, we only had a house for a 2-bedroom or, at one point, like one of my mom's best friends hosted us when we first moved to Texas. And she had a 1-bedroom apartment and she had 2 kids, her and her husband, and they housed 6 of us in their living room. So to me, like, I've always seen hosting and I've always seen it like, no duh, like, you're coming to New York, please stay with me. Even if I'm in a studio, like, I will make it work. I'll move furniture around. And so I realized that that's something that I get from my mom and like my family. And it's just, it makes me feel happy to have my closest family and friends. Like, I want to make them breakfast. I want to, do things with them. And like I said, truly host them. So hostess with the mostest for sure. But I don't think everybody does that.
I'm not the hostess with the mostest.
Really?
My husband is.
Okay.
So we're like you two. We're just opposite.
How do you compromise?
He loves it so much. Our only rule is that we can't do it on Sundays because I don't like going into the week chaotically. So I love the joy he gets out of it. I think he gets so much more joy out of it than I get like upset over it because, again, I'm used to family gatherings. I'm just more so like so much of my life is being social with my job and everything. So then like I love to, like, I always say this, just rot on my couch on the weekends. And so, but he loves to host.
Did you say rot or rot?
Rot.
Oh,
just
okay.
rot.
I'm thinking of you
just
like rocking on a rocking chair.
on my couch in a blanket and just like catch up
Okay.
on and just be with my husband alone, but he loves to host and it's
Yeah.
still quality time with him. That's how I see it. But the only rule is no Sundays. Because I'm
Okay.
like, I don't like to start the week feeling like I'm like staying up late cleaning and like
Yes.
people were
Okay.
over and then you're giving people the look like, what time are you getting out?
Right. So
So I'm
what
like,
time is your
yeah.
flight?
Saturday I'm fine with that. But Sundays I'm like, no.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. You're giving me a different perspective because I
Yeah.
was definitely like, but it's my mom,
Yeah.
or like it's
Yeah.
my cousin or it's my,
Yeah.
and so I think that's the thing too is
Yeah.
like in relationships, like I've had to specifically with this one, like I've had to just learn how to share things
Yes.
and just like I said, truly understanding the concept of like sharing is caring.
Yeah.
So like just as much as I have to share, I also have to compromise, when
Yeah.
he is willing to share and when he's not.
Yeah.
So being
I love that.
respectful
Yeah,
of that.
that's the core to a relationship. A good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So what is a weird, odd, or funny real estate question that you get asked often? Or maybe the weirdest one you've ever been asked?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I feel like a really weird comment that I
Mhm.
saw often. So on the show Love is Blind, there was a scene where sometimes like with the partner that you're with, you can take each other to work, you can take each other to each other's apartments,
Mhm.
just kind of really immerse yourself in each
Yeah.
other's lives. So we went to one of my properties and we talked about finances and it was a great conversation. So after those episodes had dropped, all over Reddit, and I was off of Reddit. Like one of my closest friends is
Mhm.
really into Reddit, so she was the one kind of like giving me the scoop, but
Oh, you gotta stay
not
off. Reddit's a
giving
dangerous
me the
Reddit's a
scoop.
dangerous place.
It's
Yeah,
bad
it's
from what
really bad.
from what she was
Yeah.
saying. And so she was like, "Yeah, so do you want me to tell you like what they're saying about your real estate stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, girl, tell me the tea. What are they saying?" She was like, "They're saying that the guy that you were with for 8 years is the one who paid your debt off. They're saying that you didn't do it and this and that." And I'm just like, "Why does my financial success have to be based off of a man that I dated?" Like what? I mean,
Yeah.
I was just like, I literally, and it's funny because I've never actually said this on
Yeah.
any of the interviews or platforms
Mhm.
that I've ever had a chance to speak. And I just thought that was the weirdest. Like, where is your headspace that you think just because a woman has financial success that it came from a
From a man,
man,
yeah. Yeah, and the
period?
fact that you were even open and honest about saying that you were, like, involved in business with a man, but it's like, now they're gonna push all that credit.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was her ex who paid off her debt. Baby, please.
No.
No, thank you. We
Ugh,
can correct
yeah.
that real
Well,
quick.
that's what I loved about you, like, talking about this on the show, even afterwards, like, you've done so many interviews where, like, you're showing, like, you know your shit. You stand on your business, which I love, 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 love that.
Thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
what's a top pop culture moment that you've absolutely loved this year, whether it was, like, a music album release, whether it was a TV moment, award shows, a
Mm.
feud?
Oh my gosh. Okay, can we talk about J.Lo for a moment?
Yes.
I love J.Lo.
Yeah.
Like, I am a J.Lo. I don't even know if she has a beehive
Yeah.
compared to Beyonce, but
Yeah.
like whatever that is compared to J.Lo, like I love J.Lo. I've loved her from day
Yeah.
one. So I was really shocked at the
Mhm.
way the world reacted to her documentary when it
Yeah.
got released. So I was invited to the premiere in New York and it was actually really fun because everybody was like whispering here and there like, "Oh my gosh, she's going to show up. She's going to show up."
Mhm.
So we're just like waiting around after the
Yeah.
movie like, "Yeah, yeah, she's coming." And security was like mad like no
Yeah.
other like it just was out of the ordinary that there was that much security. So we were sure she was going
Mhm.
to be there. Well, she didn't show up, but we all like the people that were talking actually Loco Ninja was there too.
Yes.
Loco was there. So we were just like, oh my gosh. And then when she said this and that, like we were just relating so much to her storyline. And when it hit the world, like the day that it
Mhm.
premiered on I think it was
I think it was
Amazon,
Amazon, yeah.
I was just like left with my mouth open because I couldn't understand why people were hating so much. Even like celebrity people
Mhm.
that have a platform were shitting on her. And I'm just like, what do you get out of this? I
Yeah.
get your opinion of what it may not be that you don't like the directing or whatever. Like, let it be that. But
Mhm.
like, you're sitting here and shitting on another woman who has clearly like had a moment of success. Like,
Yeah.
I just I think that was really a shocking like pop culture like why do people want to bring her down? And then TikTok went crazy with like and maybe it was just my algorithm but like it was
Yeah.
crazy how people were like, "Oh, let me tell you my J-Lo story, like outing her and experiences
Yeah.
she's had." And I don't know, there's a sense of compassion that I never would have imagined. I think before going on TV
Mhm.
to fall in love and then get left at the altar. I think
Yeah.
that for the world and billions of people, millions to see that, you just like there's things that at least I process differently now, and I'm like, I don't know what her life is like,
Yeah.
and what she's gone through, and like how her dynamic and her relationships are with her family might be. That this is really mean,
Yeah.
and I'm not down for that.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
know.
love that you mentioned that because I think it's so important, because I think it's okay to have an opinion, because there were certain things that I watched in the doc and I was like, oh, I maybe would have said it like that or done that. But I don't think the level to which people take now, and like you mentioned the fact that people were saying like, oh, this is my experience with her. I never take those experiences personal or to heart. Even when I meet someone and you don't know where what you might be running into, a celebrity or someone who's known, or a content creator, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
They might be having a bad day. They might be very anxious in the environment that they're in.
Mhm.
And people run with these stories like, oh, they were such a bitch, or they were so this. And it's like, they could have literally, and I've heard celebrities say like, I was having the worst day of my life that day, or like I was dealing with like people making me feel like my
Mhm.
safety was at risk. And that's why I was like trying to get out of the way, or whatever it might be. So it's just like, I hate when people take it to that level of just like, versus saying like, here's my opinion, here's my story. And then also
Right.
people grow.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
people mentioning stories of people from like 8 years ago,
Yeah.
I'm like, I would hope that you wouldn't think that it'd be the same person that I think I heard someone once say like, it's like throwing rocks at somewhere I used to live.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't live there anymore. So
Yeah.
like, why
Yeah.
even mention that? So I love that you brought
Yeah.
that up.
Well, even like
Good.
Nicki Minaj, there's like, even that when that happened where she also was given this reputation of what
Yeah.
kind of energy she brought to like, I think it was like an interview or something, and acting diva, whatnot. Mariah Carey, same thing. Like
Mhm.
there's like these little things that you hear, but then it's like at the end of the day, you don't know what people are going through. And I
Yeah.
think I definitely have a way different point of view
And
now
it's
being
mostly
on
for women.
the other end. And at that part too, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
if a man was just like,
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
might hear about it for 2
Yeah.
seconds.
They would be like, what a boss ass move with that
Right. He
documentary.
don't
And
give
it's
a
like, yeah, you don't give
or
a fuck.
whatever. Yeah, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's weird. It's giving weird vibes for
Okay.
sure.
I love that. Okay, so what is one thing that people would be surprised to know about you?
Ooh, one thing that people would be surprised about is that and I don't know if I think this surprises me, like, I'm always like, "I
Mhm.
just don't get it." I am not good at geography whatsoever. Like, I
Yeah.
literally met somebody the other day,
No.
and they were from, oh my gosh, what part? Wasn't Austria. It was somewhere over
Mm.
there, I think Switzerland or
Mhm.
something, and I had to apologize and say, that sounds so great, but I'm sorry. What country are you close to?" And then they pulled up a map, and they're like, "Here's Portugal, here's this," and where it was, like, somewhere, I
Yeah.
think it was Switzerland, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then, like, I asked more questions. Like, I love traveling, but the way that I travel is I look up to see what is the most affordable flight with the least amount of stops, and I'm like, "Ooh, cool. I
Yeah.
want to take a trip to Hawaii, or
Mhm.
I want to go to Bali," and these, and But then once I start planning the trip, then I'm like, okay, let me figure out
That's
like
a little far,
what do I
yeah.
need to know. It's a little far, right?
Yeah.
And so, geography not my thing, but I love to travel. And then once I'm there, I love to immerse myself into
Yeah.
the culture, the food, the people. But definitely, it's like I would fail a
Yeah.
history test right now. I actually cheated on my geography
I
test
love that you're admitting
as a
all of
kid.
this.
I was,
Because I'm
yeah.
so bad at geography. Like,
Really?
I can't name states where they are. Like, I can only name the
Oh,
most basic, like, one known that I grew up with. Like, I can
yeah.
list the East Coast, and that's probably really East Coast of me. But once you start going more inland, I'm like, you've lost me there. I can't name where
Yeah.
anything is. I'm like, the Dakotas.
Idaho?
I don't,
Idaho?
I don't who? I don't
Idaho?
who?
No, seriously, and
Yeah.
I had this amazing real estate
Yeah.
opportunity that I spoke at last year, and, they were like, "Yeah, we booked your flight here, here, and here." I was like, "Great," and then I look at the ticket, and then the day that I checked into my flight, I was like, "I should check to see how, like, far it is because it
Mhm.
says 5 hours or 6 hours," and I was coming from Miami,
Yeah.
actually. I was in shock that it was on that part of the world. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was okay, alright, I understand."
Yeah.
So, it's bad. It's pretty
That's
bad.
that's so funny. Well, thank you for admitting that. I don't feel so alone.
Right?
Okay, so we're gonna get right into our conversation. Something that I've loved about you and the interviews that, I've done a little digging in your interviews, and you've said that, you wanted to be the Nancy Rodriguez, not Love is Blind Nancy. And so like, how would you, if someone came up to you and they were like, how would your closest friends and family describe you? Like, what are you doing on a weekend? How would they describe you? What would you say?
Ooh, this actually kind of happened. So last year, it was my birthday, and I wanted to take 10 of my closest family and friends on a trip. So we went
Mm.
on a cruise, and it was so much fun. Have you heard of Virgin Voyages, by the way? Oh
Yes.
my
Yeah.
God, so fun. So fun. And I don't drink, so it's not like I went, and even though it's adults only, but so my partner at the time, well, he's still now currently my partner, but my partner got a chance to meet all of my friends. And then at the end of the
Ah.
day, he would report back and be like, oh, Julie said this about you,
Yeah.
and Jamila said this about you. And so I think that what was really unique about that experience is that he got a chance to see the type of friends that I hang around with. And overall, they're all very positive people, but they're all so different. And,
Yeah.
this person, even culturally, right? Like my Jamaican friend, and then it was like my mixed friend, and then it was like my Latina friend, and it was like my mom actually was there too. And so she brought a different dynamic. So when you would think like the worst of, oh my gosh, bringing 10 people together on a trip,
Oh, yeah.
period, is like,
And to me, for the first time.
exactly. Like you just don't know what could happen.
And you put them out in the middle of the
And in
ocean?
the ocean, girl, we are talking social experiment here. And it turned out so well. But I do think that, like, when I think about Nancy Rodriguez, like, I think it's important to note that it's what's beyond the TV stuff, right? Like, and I think that's the thing is, like, I'm not an actress. I went on a show where I got to be myself and I got to fall in love. And then what?
Yeah.
It's like crickets, right? Like, what happens next? And so I remember when I got the call that we knew when the show was airing, it was maybe about a month and a half before. I really wanted to understand, like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I went on the show to try to get married, at least attempt, right?
Yeah.
So that didn't work out. So what is like next in line? And I remember telling my agent at the time, I said, I really want to be known as the Nancy Rodriguez, not from Love is Blind. Like, I'm grateful for that platform, but like, is there more for me to tell?
Yeah.
Is there more to my story, whether it's finances related, whether it's personal lifestyle, whether it's, family and embracing that part of my culture? I just really wanted to continue using my social media platforms as a way to share my content.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not going to lie, make some money along the way.
Oh, nice. And you also love karaoke, I heard.
I do love karaoke.
I'm a huge karaoke girl.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, you got to tell me your spots in New
Yes,
York.
I will. I
You
got you.
have to, yeah.
Well, I don't mind sharing. I'm not gonna gatekeep that. I go to Gagopa. That's on 32nd Street.
Okay.
And I love that they have like these private rooms. So, and they're large enough where, like, I threw my birthday there once and it was 20 of us
I love
in a
birthday
room.
karaoke.
Yeah,
I
and it's
still haven't
like
done
BYOB.
that.
So
Mhm.
it's the vibes. But
Okay.
all those spots in K-Town in New York City,
Yeah.
incredible.
Well,
Yeah.
that's where I went, but it was like the day, like we were just walking around and ran into it.
Yes.
So
Well,
we
that's
had
the best time when you just walk around.
Yes.
And me and my friends have done that. We did a spot in the Lower East Side where we just like searched what was the nearest karaoke spot.
Yeah.
We found one and it was like in the basement and we were like, that's it.
Wait, so have you karaoke'd abroad? Like when you travel?
No.
That is
I
so
ne-
much fun. That is a
Okay.
way different vibe.
Okay, I need to do
Because
that.
it's
But
just,
where
like,
have
real
you done
different.
it? Like,
I've done it in France. I've done
ooh.
it in Bali. I've done it in South Africa.
Oh, so you're like a world karaoke.
And
Like,
here's the thing.
she's putting me to shame. I'm only
No.
versed in K-Town.
No.
I've done karaoke nowhere else but New York City.
No,
Yeah.
honestly though, like, okay, so the worst experience I ever had in karaoke. I'm not good at karaoke. Let's get that straight. I just
But what
like
is
the
good?
karaoke.
Like, what do
Okay,
you
but,
mean
like-
by good?
Like, I know the lyrics
Yeah.
and stuff. So like,
Well, the best
songs
is
that
when
I
you're not
sing,
good. Because if you're good, then like,
Right?
is it fun?
I feel like I get really embarrassed.
Oh no.
So,
We
I don't
gotta
know.
stop that.
Okay, can I tell you my
Yeah.
embarrassing story?
Go
now?
for it.
Okay, so
That's what we're here for.
okay, you would think in Las Vegas there'd be a variety of like, talent, like maybe some good, maybe some funny, maybe some like horrible stories,
Yeah.
and then of course some talent. Girl, the most talented people on that stage singing all kinds of songs, and I'm like, it was my turn, and I had already written my name down, but I was like, okay, what's a song that I know that like I can't really mess up, right? So I thought that I knew Irreplaceable by Beyonce. Mistake.
Oh my
The
God,
octaves
no.
were octaving and like activate. They were doing.
They
their
were
thing,
doing.
and I was not.
Yeah.
And so then I like got really scared. And at the time, the guy that I was dating was really good at karaoke, like very good. Like he does. This is how we do.
Don't tell me he
it."
showed out after you.
No, he was so supportive. So
Okay.
he basically starts feeding me the octaves, and he's like right there, right,
Yeah.
and I'm here with the mic. He's like, you got this, like to the left, to the left. He's trying to
Why does this sound like a movie scene?
Oh my gosh, it was. And then the audience saw that I was really doing bad. So
Yeah.
then the audience started singing along. It was so embarrassing, but also like I felt so supportive. So that's the kind of like karaoke community I like, is like if I'm burning down, like if I'm going down, just sing along and like help a sister out.
No, that's why you need multiple people there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've done karaoke with one person. That was my best friend. But that's like, because, just off the shits, like we're just having fun.
Yeah.
But if it's like a group of people, I need everyone to be singing. You can't just leave me. I can't be all eyes on me.
Oh,
that's why I like those room setups, because if like I'm on
Mhm.
stage and it's just me, I'm like, oh no. But wait, what's your number one karaoke go-to song?
Oh gosh.
Now that I know it's not Beyonce.
No, it's definitely not. We're gonna leave Beyonce to the Beehive to handle that. I would say go-to is definitely anything Selena. Anything like Como la Flor. Dreaming of You I'll do, but anything like El Chico del Apartamento
Oh my God, that's
512.
so
You know what I
good,
mean?
yeah.
Like it's fun, and I think the reason why is because I can dance to it, and it's giving when I was like 7 years old, dancing in my living room, So I think it's just very comfortable for me. But a backup second, if I'm not doing Spanish, is like Lauryn Hill, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You.
That's a
just
good one.
very sultry,
And it's so
not
easy to
doing
keep
too
up
much.
with. Yeah.
Yeah, you just get the vibe, super chill.
And you're not losing your voice.
Yes, exactly. The octaves are not octavate.
I'm a Let Me Love You by Mario Girl.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'll do like all, even Katy Perry though sometimes.
Yep. That's a good one. That's
Firework.
Yeah. Yes.
Seven Things by Miley Cyrus is a slept on song.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of that
it's a good one.
Okay.
It's the one that goes, Shah.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Whoever's heard it will understand what I'm saying. But it's like, do it one time.
Okay.
Just one time. Well, listen to it on YouTube first.
Yeah.
And you'll see why it's so fun.
Okay.
Because you're like kind of counting down. But
Ooh, but she's got a really good voice.
She does. Yeah.
So do you have to have
that? No, that one's more of a mellow song.
Okay.
That
cool.
was like one of her more. This isn't Wrecking Ball.
Yeah.
Like Wrecking Ball's good too, but that one's like you're yelling.
Yeah.
I'll lose my voice.
You have to have. Yeah. I don't. You have to have what I don't have.
Yeah.
And I ain't got all that.
Yeah. I love that. That's so good. Wait, but okay. So what is your like? Because now that I'm hearing like Selena, I need to hear it because I think so many people try to always understand like what's Latina's obsessions with Selena Quintanilla, and like I love to hear from you. Like, what was your relationship with Selena? I think people need to understand like why we love her so much.
Yeah, I think for me as a little girl, music was always in our living room every weekend when mom and dad did have a day off and we were having people over, or whether it was the hangover party. So let's say all the families came over Saturday, then on Sunday everybody's hungover, so then everybody comes back and eats leftovers or like pozole, menudo, something. So we always came together with music. And I think when I really first learned an artist, and I was still living in Chicago, so I was maybe 7 or 8, and I think just that connection of someone who looked like me, and then learning the songs along the way and wanting to dance like her, it was just, I at that age hadn't seen anything else. I had seen Britney Spears and the opposite looking kind of singers, which I loved. But it wasn't until then that I resonated with someone who looked like me, and I saw how she made me feel, and that like I wanted more. And I think I just, as a little girl, I just connected with that energy with her.
I love that because I think you hit such an important point, which you grew up with like all these traditional genres, which are incredible, but it's like it's all in Spanish. We don't really like resonate with some of the themes of it, or like it's our parents' music essentially. And I feel like Selena was the first one where like, oh wait, here's this like English, Spanish speaking, and then she also had the whole like Mexican American, like the An-American. I think that resonated with so many of us first gen, because I'm also first gen.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think it's always important to hit on that when I meet another Selena fan or another Latina, because I feel like we're all Selena fans.
Yeah, for
at
sure.
Heart.
Yes.
to explain to people why we love her so much. Because I've also heard you mention her several times because she was a part of your Love is Blind casting process.
Oh my gosh, she was. And it's funny because I was put on the spot. He was like, oh, will you sing a song, that the casting producer?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And it's so funny because like I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. I don't think anyone else in the casting process had to do this. So I think
they knew that you were global karaoke artist. That's why.
Right. They got
understand.
wind of my vocals from
Yeah.
afar that
Yeah.
they were like, "Yeah, girl, we want that."
Yeah.
So,
I
and
love
then
that.
they picked me.
But you're also a foodie, I have to say. I don't think you know you're a foodie, but you're a foodie.
No, okay, so since being in New York
Yes.
too, so I've been here over a year now,
Hmm?
and there is this sense of like, I wanna eat it all. I wanna
Yeah.
try
I
foods,
love that.
but I don't know if this is also considered a foodie. Like, I will eat something, and in my mind, I'm like, "I'm gonna make this at home next week. This is so good," and I taste the garlic, and I taste, like, the different
I love
ingredients, and I'm like,
that.
"Ooh, instead, I would add an egg, or I'm gonna do it with white rice instead of this." And so, I think when I do eat and I enjoy new foods, especially being here in the city, I do also want to inspire to cook, something
Yeah.
like that, or like a similar dish,
Yeah.
so
That's so good. I need you. Nancy's been rating dumplings in New York City, and I need you to continue because I'm a huge dumplings fan.
Yes.
So I'm like, please keep finding the spots.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm gonna keep looking because I
Yes.
still haven't even hit up Chinatown, and I know that there's gotta be some hidden
Oh,
gems
there's
there,
some
for
soup
sure.
dumplings. I have to get you the name. Do you like soup dumplings?
Okay, yes,
Or are you
and I
fat,
didn't
only
know there
fried?
was a difference, so I'm
Yes.
finding out. I'm
Yes.
exploring.
Okay.
New
Okay. I
York
have
is
to get
like
you the name of my favorite soup dumpling spot downtown.
Mhm,
Every time I'm in New York City, no doubt, I'm like trying to find a way to escape there. I've
okay,
gotten and just sat by myself
I
to
love
go
it.
eat there.
Yeah,
Cause yeah. But I
okay.
need you to keep sharing your foodie
Yes,
experience.
I will, I
But this
will.
goes to show how multifaceted Nancy is. Like she's a global karaoke singer.
Oh my gosh.
She's a foodie. She's giving finance advice, real estate, everything. That's why everyone needs to go follow you. But what I loved is like so we've been sharing that the fact that we've been asking our guests before they come on the show, what is something that you would love to be asked that you're not asked often. And what I loved about your response is like you're looking to like the past and the future, like how
Mhm.
reflective you really wanted to go there. So I do want to hit on that a little
Yeah,
bit. And so I
yeah.
have to ask you, what is something that you wish you could tell your younger self?
Ooh. I think that something I learned later that I wish I would have learned sooner is truly believing in myself and loving myself, and to the point where like I have to be my number one cheerleader. Like I have to understand what makes me happy would have saved me so many headaches and heartaches in my 20s and even in high school. I just think that I didn't know how to say no. And I think yes was a lot easier. And so it was saying yes to maybe like a situation that I didn't really want to do, or forcing myself to be in positions that like I didn't want to be in. And even later in life, I remember when I started to just kind of go into this, what is it that I want? What is it that makes me happy? As I got older, it was so much easier to then learn how to say no and be proud of it. And it might sound selfish in the moment, like, no, I don't want to, whatever, right? Do that thing that
Mhm.
being invited to because I'm whatever, tired, or I just need some me time, or it's Sunday and I need a reset,
Yeah.
like we talked
Raw
about,
on my couch.
rot
Yeah.
on the couch.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that learning that sooner would have definitely personally kept me, it would have made me stronger or happier as a person, and within myself too.
And then what
Yeah.
questions or comments would you have for your future self?
Ooh. Yeah, I think that for my future self, I have to keep trusting my intuition.
Mhm.
And I think, along with the saying no, I think that in the future, I want to keep trusting what I truly believe in,
Mm.
whether that's making financial decisions or saying no to things that may be a good opportunity but aren't quite aligning with where I'm at in life. So I want to continue to trust my intuition instead of doubting myself, or thinking that, oh well, if I don't say yes to these opportunities, like they're gonna be gone. So it's like, no, sometimes it has to be no, and it's okay because that was like my
Yeah.
initial intuition. And again, I think a lot of time will be saved if I trust my gut and go with it. And I don't know, women's intuition, I think it's something very unique,
It's
very
very powerful.
special, and so I wanna, like, use that as my superpower.
I love that you mentioned that like there's still doubts that you hold. And I feel like people see you online and they probably see that, they hear, as mentioned in your bio, the real estate investment that you have, your portfolio. They see the financial advice that you give and they probably think she has her head straight. She has zero doubts. So like, what do you say to someone? Like, because I feel like I loved hearing this, and this is what this podcast is all about. Like, you don't always have it together. So like, what do those moments look like for Nancy where she's like maybe doubting herself?
Ooh. I would say the first thing that comes to mind is time management.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, "Oh my god, I could totally do that in 30 minutes."
Yeah.
And then
Oh
2
my God,
hours
I
go
do
by.
that all the time. I swear that I don't know if it's the New Yorker in me, or maybe it's you're becoming a real New
Maybe I
Yorker.
am.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I can walk there in 10 minutes.
I'm
I
like,
can do
"Oh,
that.
I can cook
Yeah,
and take a shower and try to get
yeah,
ready and be at the door in an hour. I can totally do that.
yeah,
It only takes me 5 minutes to get
yeah.
ready." You know? Who am I lying to?
Yes.
But again, like,
Yeah.
what's funny is that I think, relationships, specifically, like, romantic relationships are so important because for me, I take that as a mirror in
Mhm.
front of me. So the things that I don't notice that I'm like, "Oh, I thought I had my schedule down," or I thought I knew where I was going in my day and that things would get done. But then, like, to have a partner who is like, "Hey, like, it's been this long," or "You're not really good with time management." And I'm just like, "What?
Yeah.
Me? Not good
Yeah.
at time management? But, like,
Yeah.
look at all these accolades that I've had or these
Mhm.
things that I've accomplished." But it's like, "No, I'm not good at time management." And
I
I
love
think
that.
and that can really reflect in the long run, whether it's a weekly thing or a monthly thing. I'm like, "It's been a month and I still haven't
It
blah, blah,
starts to
blah."
pile up. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. We should start
Mhm.
a support group.
I
Start a
know.
core group of people who are terrible at time management.
Uh, it's like I thought I had it, but I
Yeah.
don't. We're
Well, I
working it.
love to hear this about you because, like, I
Thank
think
you.
again, we see this stuff on social media and they probably look at us and think we have it all together.
Yeah.
But look at us, we're struggling
We're
with our
struggling
time.
too.
We're
Yes,
struggling.
we are out here lifing,
Yes, we're
trying
lifing,
to just
trying our
live.
hardest. So, where can everyone find you? Actually, before we even get to what's next for you, what can we look forward to? What are you working on? And if it's nothing at the moment, let it be. Are you having fun? Let us know.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we had
Yeah.
talked about, before we got on was about our outfits.
Yes.
And so I do want to talk about Pretty Posh
Yes.
Box.
Go for it.
Yeah,
Let's.
it's a monthly clothing subscription service. And for $50, you can get anywhere from 4 to 6 outfits and you rotate them for as long as you want. Let's say you really love, like, I really loved these jeans that they
Mhm.
sent me once. I kept them. I paid $10 for the jeans. So even
Yes.
if you decide to keep the clothes and you don't want to send it back, then you can get a significantly reduced rate. And we partner with Express. We partner with other, like, smaller boutique
Love
brands.
that.
We've partnered with, gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the ones off the top of my head. So there are major brands and then there are smaller brands that, like, and the reason why I say the smaller brands is because you're not going to find Zara
Mhm.
in the inventory because then, like, that's more fast
Yeah,
fashion,
yeah.
it's not as great quality sometimes. So these are brands that really put time and energy into the design and the quality of the clothes. And so, yeah, I'm going to continue promoting Pretty Posh Box and getting people to understand that, like, your wardrobe doesn't have to be what it is. Like, you could get creative, and
Yeah.
there are outfits that I have gotten in because I use the service myself, and
Yes.
there's outfits that I've picked out that I'm like, I would never pay $200 for this top or this
To then
bottom,
wear like
but
twice. Yeah.
for to wear it twice, right, and then send it right back, I love it. So, I rent it, I wear it, and then I repeat it, send it back. Yeah,
Amazing. As
so
someone
that's
who's like
something.
really been into renting clothes as the last few months, I'm love that you're sharing this. I have to check it out for sure. Cause I'm like, rent, y'all, it's a life changer.
It is,
Yes.
and especially in New York where my closet is this big, like,
A
we don't have space
hundred
for all of
percent. Yeah.
that. So,
Agreed.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
thank you for sharing that. So
yeah.
where can everyone find you? Where can we follow along?
Yeah, so the Nancy Rodriguez on Instagram and TikTok. So glad that I got that down, that they were able to match. And then I actually do have a YouTube channel as well, Nancy Rodriguez
Ooh,
Life.
yes.
And so I'm just updating more of my lifestyle content and long form content as well.
Look at that. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Nancy, for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you everyone for watching or listening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Down to a T.